What if everything you've been told about eating healthy after 60 is not just wrong, but actually making you weaker, more tired, and more dependent on medications? Today, I'm going to expose 7 dangerous nutrition myths that are quietly sabotaging the health of millions of seniors. And myth number 4 has been pushed by doctors for decades, yet new research shows it might be increasing your risk of fractures and heart disease. After working with thousands of seniors over the years, I've noticed something disturbing. The people who follow conventional nutrition advice most closely often feel the worst. They're tired, they're on multiple medications, and they're losing their independence faster than those who ignore the standard recommendations. Why? Because most nutrition advice wasn't designed for bodies over 60. It was created for younger adults with different metabolisms, different hormone levels, and different health challenges. Yet seniors are expected to follow the same guidelines that a 30-year-old might follow and wonder why they feel terrible. Your body after 60 has unique needs. Your metabolism has slowed down, your muscle mass is naturally declining, your digestive system produces less stomach acid, and your ability to absorb certain nutrients has decreased. Following nutrition advice designed for younger people isn't just ineffective, it's harmful. Today, I'm going to debunk 7 nutrition myths that are specifically damaging to seniors. These aren't just outdated ideas, they're dangerous beliefs that could be costing you your energy, your independence, and your quality of life. Let's start with perhaps the most destructive myth of all. Myth number 1. Seniors need to eat less fat to protect their hearts. This might be the most dangerous myth still circulating in senior centers and doctors' offices across the country. The idea that fat, especially saturated fat, causes heart disease has been thoroughly debunked by modern research. Yet seniors are still being told to avoid egg yolks, choose low-fat dairy, and cook with vegetable oils. Here's what actually happens when seniors follow low-fat diets. They replace healthy fats with refined carbohydrates and sugar. Their blood sugar spikes, their inflammation increases, and their risk of heart disease actually goes up. Meanwhile, they're missing out on essential fatty acids that their brains, hormones, and cell membranes desperately need. The truth is, healthy fats are more important for seniors than for any other age group. Your brain is 60% fat, and it needs a steady supply of quality fats to function properly. Your hormones are made from cholesterol and fatty acids. Your cell membranes become more rigid with age, and healthy fats help keep them flexible and functional. Let me tell you about Margaret, who's 68. She followed a low-fat diet for 15 years, believing it would protect her heart. She ate oatmeal for breakfast, sandwiches on whole grain bread for lunch, and pasta with tomato sauce for dinner. She was always hungry, always tired, and her cholesterol kept getting worse despite avoiding fat. When she finally started including healthy fats like olive oil, avocados, and fatty fish in her diet, everything changed. Her energy stabilized, her brain fog cleared, and her cholesterol profile actually improved. Her doctor was amazed by the transformation. The Mediterranean diet, which is rich in healthy fats, has been shown to reduce heart disease risk by 30% in seniors. Countries with the highest fat intake often have the lowest rates of heart disease. The key is choosing the right fats: olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish, while avoiding processed vegetable oils and trans fats. But fat isn't the only macronutrient that's been unfairly demonized. Let's talk about the protein myth that's literally causing seniors to waste away. Myth number 2, older adults don't need much protein. This myth is quietly contributing to muscle loss, bone weakness, and faster aging in millions of seniors. The standard recommendation of 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight might be adequate for a sedentary 25-year-old, but it's woefully inadequate for anyone over 60. Here's what happens as you age. Your body becomes less efficient at using protein. You need more protein to maintain the same muscle mass. And muscle mass is directly linked to longevity, independence, and quality of life. Seniors who don't get enough protein lose muscle faster, have weaker bones, heal more slowly from injuries, and have compromised immune systems. The research is clear. Seniors need at least 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. And some experts recommend even more. That means a 150-pound senior needs about 80 to 110 grams of protein daily. not the 50 grams that old guidelines suggest, but here's where it gets more complex. Not all protein is created equal. As you age, your body needs more leucine, an amino acid that triggers muscle protein synthesis. Animal proteins are rich in leucine, while many plant proteins are not. This doesn't mean you can't be healthy on a plant-based diet, but it does mean you need to be much more strategic about your protein choices. Consider Frank, who's 74. He was following the old protein guidelines, having a small piece of chicken at dinner and thinking that was enough. He was losing muscle mass, feeling weak, and his doctor kept telling him it was just normal aging. When he started having eggs for breakfast, a protein-rich lunch, and a substantial portion of fish or meat for dinner, his strength returned, his balance improved, and he felt more confident moving around. The best protein sources for seniors include eggs, fish, grass-fed meat, and high-quality dairy. These provide complete amino acid profiles with plenty of leucine to support muscle maintenance and growth. Now let's tackle a myth that's been causing digestive problems and nutrient deficiencies in seniors for decades. Myth number 3. Whole grains are always healthy, especially for seniors. This might be the most persistent myth in senior nutrition. Walk into any senior center and you'll see whole grain cereals, whole wheat bread, and brown rice being promoted as healthy choices. But here's what they don't tell you. As you age, your ability to digest grains properly decreases, and the blood sugar spikes they cause become more problematic. Whole grains contain compounds called anti-nutrients, phytates, lectins, and gluten that can interfere with nutrient absorption. Your aging digestive system produces less stomach acid and fewer digestive enzymes, making these compounds more problematic than they would be for younger people. Additionally, even whole grains cause significant blood sugar spikes. A bowl of oatmeal can raise your blood sugar as much as a candy bar. For seniors with decreased insulin sensitivity, this creates a cascade of problems: energy crashes, increased inflammation, and accelerated aging. The fiber argument doesn't hold up either. You can get much more bioavailable fiber from vegetables without the blood sugar spikes and digestive issues that come with grains. Let me share Janet's story. She's 71 and suffered from bloating, gas, and irregular bowel movements for years. She ate oatmeal every morning and whole grain bread with every meal, thinking she was being healthy. Her doctor kept telling her to eat more fiber, so she added more whole grains. When she eliminated grains and focused on vegetables, meat, and healthy fats, her digestive problems disappeared within 2 weeks. Her energy became more stable, and she stopped experiencing the afternoon crashes that had plagued her for years. This doesn't mean all seniors need to avoid grains completely, but the automatic assumption that whole grains are healthy for everyone over 60 is simply false. Many seniors feel better when they reduce or eliminate grains and get their nutrients from more bioavailable sources. Speaking of nutrient absorption, let's discuss a myth that's causing serious deficiencies in seniors. Myth number 4. Calcium from dairy and supplements is all you need for strong bones. This myth has been pushed by the dairy industry and supplement companies for decades, and it's created a dangerous oversimplification of bone health. Seniors are told to drink milk, take calcium supplements, and their bones will be fine. Yet osteoporosis rates continue to climb, and many seniors taking calcium supplements actually have worse bone health than those who don't. Here's what they don't tell you. Calcium is just one piece of the bone health puzzle. Without adequate vitamin D, vitamin K2, magnesium, and protein, that calcium can't be properly utilized. In fact, taking calcium without these cofactors can actually increase your risk of heart disease by causing calcium to deposit in your arteries instead of your bones. The countries with the highest calcium intake don't have the strongest bones. In fact, many have higher rates of osteoporosis than countries with lower calcium intake. The difference? The countries with stronger bones, despite lower calcium intake, have better overall nutrition, including adequate vitamin D, vitamin K2, and magnesium. Vitamin K2 is particularly important and often overlooked. It acts like a traffic director, telling calcium where to go in your bones instead of your arteries. You can get vitamin K2 from fermented foods, grass-fed dairy, and certain animal products, but most seniors are deficient. Martha, who's 66, took calcium supplements for 10 years after her doctor recommended them following a bone density scan. Despite religiously taking her calcium, her next scan showed further bone loss. When she switched to a more comprehensive approach including vitamin D, vitamin K2, magnesium, and weight-bearing exercise, her bone density actually improved. The best approach to bone health includes calcium from food sources, adequate vitamin D, which most seniors are deficient in, vitamin K2 from fermented foods and grass-fed animal products, magnesium from leafy greens and nuts, and regular weight-bearing exercise. Now let's talk about a myth that's keeping seniors unnecessarily hungry and unsatisfied. Myth number 5. Seniors should eat small, frequent meals to keep blood sugar stable. This advice sounds logical, but it's actually counterproductive for most seniors. The idea that eating every few hours prevents blood sugar crashes is based on the assumption that you're eating high-carb foods that cause blood sugar spikes in the first place. If you're eating foods that don't spike blood sugar, you don't need to eat every few hours. Constant eating keeps your insulin levels elevated, which becomes more problematic as you age, and your insulin sensitivity decreases. It also prevents your body from ever accessing stored fat for energy, which can lead to weight gain and metabolic dysfunction. Many seniors find that eating 2 or 3 satisfying meals per day with adequate protein and healthy fats actually provides more stable energy than constant snacking. This approach also supports better digestion, gives your pancreas a break, and may even support longevity through mild intermittent fasting. The key is eating nutrient-dense foods that provide sustained energy. A breakfast of eggs cooked in olive oil with spinach will keep you satisfied much longer than a bowl of cereal with fruit. A lunch of salmon with avocado and leafy greens provides steady energy without the crash. Robert, who's 69, used to eat 6 small meals a day because his doctor told him it would help with his diabetes. He was constantly thinking about food, never felt satisfied, and his blood sugar was still erratic. When he switched to 3 substantial meals with adequate protein and healthy fats, his blood sugar stabilized, and he felt more in control of his eating. This doesn't mean grazing is wrong for everyone, but the automatic assumption that seniors need to eat constantly is often counterproductive. Let's address another myth that's causing nutrient deficiencies in seniors. Myth number 6. Plant-based diets are always healthier for seniors. While plant foods are certainly important for health, the idea that seniors should eat mostly or entirely plant-based diets can be problematic. As you age, your ability to convert plant-based nutrients into their active forms decreases, and you may need more bioavailable nutrients from animal sources. For example, vitamin B12 is almost exclusively found in animal products, and seniors are at high risk for B12 deficiency due to decreased stomach acid production. Iron from plants is much less bioavailable than iron from meat, which can be problematic for seniors at risk for anemia. The omega-3 fatty acids in plants need to be converted to EPA and DHA to be useful. But this conversion becomes less efficient with age. The omega-3s in fish are already in their active forms. Additionally, plant proteins are often incomplete and lower in leucine, the amino acid that becomes more important for muscle maintenance as you age. While you can certainly get adequate protein from plants, it requires more planning and larger quantities. This doesn't mean seniors can't thrive on plant-based diets, but it does mean they need to be much more strategic about supplementation and food choices. The assumption that plant-based is automatically healthier for seniors is simply not supported by the research. Dorothy, who's 73, adopted a plant-based diet in her 60s, thinking it would help her health. Within a year, she was experiencing fatigue, muscle weakness, and cognitive issues. Blood tests revealed deficiencies in B12, iron, and omega-3 fatty acids. When she reintroduced some animal products while maintaining plenty of plant foods, her energy returned and her deficiencies resolved. The healthiest approach for most seniors includes plenty of plant foods for their vitamins, minerals, and fiber, combined with high-quality animal products for bioavailable nutrients and complete proteins. Finally, let's discuss a myth that's keeping seniors from one of the most important nutrients for aging well. Myth number 7. Seniors need to avoid salt to protect their blood pressure. This myth has caused more harm than almost any other piece of nutrition advice given to seniors. Yes, some people are salt sensitive and need to limit sodium, But the blanket recommendation for all seniors to avoid salt is not only unnecessary, it's dangerous. Salt is essential for proper hydration, nerve function, and blood pressure regulation. When you don't get enough salt, your body can't maintain proper fluid balance, which can actually contribute to dehydration and low blood pressure problems that are common in seniors. The real issue isn't salt, it's the source of salt. Most sodium in the American diet comes from processed foods, restaurant meals, and packaged snacks. These foods are problematic not because of their salt content, but because they're highly processed and often high in sugar and unhealthy fats. High-quality salt, like sea salt or Himalayan pink salt, provides essential minerals that your body needs. When you're eating real, whole foods, you can salt them to taste without worrying about your blood pressure. The research shows that very low-sodium diets can actually increase the risk of heart disease and stroke in some people. The sweet spot for most seniors is moderate sodium intake from high-quality sources, not the extremely low levels often recommended. George, who's 72, was told to eliminate salt completely after a blood pressure reading that was slightly elevated. He followed this advice religiously, but felt weak, dizzy, and had frequent headaches. His blood pressure didn't improve significantly, and he felt miserable. When he started using moderate amounts of high-quality salt on his whole foods, his symptoms improved, and his blood pressure remained stable. The key is distinguishing between the sodium in processed foods and the salt you add to real, whole foods. Focus on eliminating processed foods rather than eliminating salt entirely. The truth about healthy aging. Here's what all these myths have in common. They treat all seniors as if they have the same needs, ignore the unique challenges of aging bodies, and focus on single nutrients rather than overall nutrition quality. The truth about nutrition after 60 is much simpler than these myths make it seem. Your body needs adequate protein from high-quality sources to maintain muscle mass, healthy fats for brain function, hormone production, and nutrient absorption, plenty of vitamins and minerals from bioavailable sources, stable blood sugar to maintain energy and prevent inflammation, proper hydration and electrolyte balance. You don't need to count calories, avoid entire food groups, or follow complicated meal plans. You need to eat real, whole foods that provide the nutrients your aging body requires. The people who age most successfully don't follow the latest nutrition trends, they stick to the basics. Quality protein, healthy fats, plenty of vegetables, and minimal processed foods. They listen to their bodies rather than following generic advice designed for people half their age. Your action plan for breaking free from these myths. Start by questioning any nutrition advice that makes you feel worse. If eating whole grains makes you bloated, if low-fat foods leave you hungry, if constant snacking makes you obsess about food, trust your body over generic recommendations. Focus on nutrient density rather than restriction. Ask yourself, what nutrients does my body need, rather than what should I avoid? Work with healthcare providers who understand that senior nutrition is different from general adult nutrition. Seek out professionals who focus on bioavailable nutrients, adequate protein, and healthy fats, rather than just calorie restriction. Most importantly, remember that your body after 60 has earned the right to be nourished properly. Don't let outdated myths keep you from feeling your best during what should be some of the most fulfilling years of your life. These myths aren't just wrong, they're stealing your energy, your independence, and your quality of life. It's time to reject advice that doesn't serve your aging body and embrace nutrition that actually works. If this video has opened your eyes to how nutrition myths might be affecting your health, make sure to subscribe for more evidence-based content designed specifically for seniors. And let me know in the comments which myth surprised you the most or which one you've been following without realizing it might be harmful. Remember, aging well isn't about following rules designed for younger people. It's about understanding what your body needs now and giving it the best possible nutrition to thrive at any age.